I am Ningguang, Tianxin of Qixing. You wish to trade? You be my personal bodyguard, and I will show you how to get ahead in Liyue. Even if an antique is priceless, the happiness it brings lasts for only the moment that you obtain it. In a trade war, the perfect hunter leaves no trace. We should look for a new investment. Mora doesn't grow on trees. It's raining. Fetch an umbrella for me, would you? Nothing more than regular snowfall. One day, I'll take you to see the snow that falls over Liyue. Calm weather. Do not trust your eyes. Your eyes can lie to you. Gales like this can be the demise of fishermen, not to mention... Never mind. Morning. Report your affairs, in order of priority. Liuli Pavilion or Xingyue Kiosk, which would you prefer to go to for lunch? The tea house has no more rooms. Then come, sit in the Jade Chamber, if you can afford the price. Sure, go rest. If anything important comes up, I will be sure to send for you. Be it simple price negotiation or a full-blown trade war, momentum and bargaining chips are but minor factors. To win, you need to be first to find out what cards your opponent is holding. Your impressions of me have changed. Well, at first I required your strength, so naturally I had to be as cordial as possible. But now that we're partners bound by contract, we may do away with such pretentious formalities. I suppose you've heard enough rumors about me. What kind of person am I? I shall leave that for you to decide. Of course, your judgment will become a part of the rumor. You've been with me for some time now. Have you learned to observe? Then observe me. Observe me right down to my very core. Come forward, stand beside me. Do you see the Jade Chamber? At first it was just a room, and now it clouds Liyue. When the time comes that it hangs above all of the 7 nations, you shall stand by my side on that day too. There's no need to use a vision in affairs that Mora can solve. As far as affairs only a vision can solve go, I know of only one. Gamblers always place their bets on the next dice roll. But the bankers always have the last laugh, and they never touch a single die. The departure of Rex Lapis will be no small test for both the Qixing and the city of Liyue. Seldom has any matter kept me tossing and turning at night like recent events. Nevertheless, I shall not lose sight of my goal. There will come a day when the shadow cast by the Jade Chamber reaches every end of Tevat. In Liyue's ancient texts, there's no shortage of mentioning the beauty of the glazed lily. But in the modern era, the flower is on the brink of extinction. Now they can only be found in Yujing Terrace, and as such come with a hefty price tag. That captain. She clearly receives the adoration of many, but will always be the first to disregard the rules. The fine she has paid would be enough to buy her a whole new ship. Perhaps you've never heard me speak like this. All that can be said has been said, both the good and the bad, but she still does as she pleases. Forget it. Keep Beidou out of my sight. Zhang Li of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. He's very versed in a great deal of affairs. Although, such excellent pawns are of no use to me until I know their weaknesses. The second son of the Feiyun Commerce Guild. People like him can't stand the sight of me, which is only to be expected. I have no intention of troubling him either. Those who have different beliefs should not work together. That girl from One Min Restaurant. Her suspicion towards me is always written all over her face. I wonder what face she would make if only she knew how much I helped finance that restaurant. One cannot afford to be overly reliant on others, even when it comes to Ganyu. There is a Liyue saying which goes, "Even the most meticulous can fall prey to happenstance." When there are important affairs to deal with, it is always safer to investigate and resolve them personally. I presume you mean the girl whom Ganyu has taken under her wing. Do not worry. I have no plans to make this matter public. I am content to extend some leniency to the odd bit of mischievous maneuvering by that boat captain. One thing, though, Yao-Yao seems to have become somewhat enamored with seafood lately. You should try to convince her to include some more fruits and vegetables in her diet. The Yuhang. She has changed a lot recently. But is Liyue better off with the Yuhang we have now, or the Yuhang we used to know? Only time will tell. The acting Grand Master of Mondstadt, a strict and impeccable woman. Her flawless etiquette knows no fault. Even her letters are meticulously written and creased according to the prescribed rules. It is such easily overlooked details that offer a glimpse into the true qualities of one's character. Yanfei. I suppose you could say she's a dear rival of mine. Were she not so deft at explaining the meanders of the law and providing her clients with all sorts of cunning suggestions, it would take me many more months to identify existing loopholes in the legal codices and tighten them one by one. Seeing as it's you, there's no need to keep up the formalities. You can be a little more casual, but I still ask that you respect my time. If you have something to say, be concise. I have no time to waste. I've always believed that children are the most naive and innocent. The reports they give me are of the most value. So what about you? What will you have for me? I've been thinking about something lately. If I were to keep you in Liyue, perhaps, at the right time, I might be able to leverage this city to... For now, it's mere conjecture. I should really consider whether the investment is worth it some more. You can learn from me, and use Mora to make things a little easier for yourself. But remember, relationships built on Mora can only be relied on for a time. And that is why I have never brought Mora into our relationship. This is truly a great investment. Sure, no Mora has been made from it, but the time I've spent with you is already a solid return. Seems I win again. I put my money on the right person. Care for a game of Liyue Millennial? It'll give me an opportunity to see exactly how good you are as a player. Concerns. If I told you of the concerns of the Liyue Qixing, do you think your shoulders could bear the burden? And if you ever made the mistake of mentioning them to others? A slow-boiled soup of leftover chicken and pork bones drenched over some cabbage leaves. I have few culinary requirements. Having a few staple dishes like this is enough. I've come across those who demand golden crab for every meal. Though it all seems so grandiose, I really have no desire for such frivolousness. If you're ever thinking of taking me out for such a dinner, you'd be better off just giving the Mora to me directly. There's no style in resorting to violence. It's simply the worst of all the bad decisions you could make. Cashing in time and Mora for power. Interesting. This shows their true value. What is it that you hold so dear that is making you so persistent? No, don't tell me. Give me more time to understand you myself. I'm usually not so quick to place my trust in others, but it seems I will no longer be able to make such claims. You've done splendidly. If only I had more like you. No, perhaps you alone are enough. It's nothing. Don't waste my time. Give up. Your life is mine. Submit! Goodbye! You dare to hit me! I'll remember that. We are all but pawns. The victor has been decided. Is this the end of Genshin? Rude. You wait. Blood repays blood. Understood. Let's make haste. Don't disappoint me.